Alright guys, got a little Yale challenge lock here from BlackDolphin90. There's the key, all mummied, and he calls this the, get it up here, anti-pick words. Got his note off camera here. It says, the key works best anti-clockwise, I guess he means counterclockwise, and is needed to gut the lock. Warning, be very careful tensioning it, and be careful not to pull the core. Only turn it as intended. All right, got a little piece of safety wire here. I don't know, that's not going to keep the core. I think that's probably just to keep me from monkeying with it. But what I do notice is there's no clip on this. So that's probably what he means about being careful about not pulling the core. So if I get it picked, don't yank it, I guess. Well, okay, I think we can do that. Nothing weird about it. Let's go ahead and see if we can't pick it. Anti-pick words leads me to believe that there may be some anti-pick wards in it. Ingenious, Bill. All right, that ought to do it. Let's zoom in. Let's put a little, we're going to pick it, he says, counterclockwise. So let's find a, it's too loose. Tensioner. Okay, there's an awful lot of flop in there. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go out counterclockwise and put a mark right there. Okay. It is a Yale, so I think I can pick from the bottom if I use a really thin pick. I'm going to try this guy. He seems to fit on like the first three. There we go. Usually goes up and around that curve. Let's try it. Doesn't cost anything extra to try it, right? All right, light tension. All springy. Got one binder with some counter rotation right there, right off the get-go. Pin 1. Come on. Let me lighten it up a little bit. What's going on? There we go. I got to click off him. Still getting counter rotation though. Let me try another pick. Let's pull out the old rat yoke. See if we can reach up a little higher. There we go. Counter rotation still. Come on. Counter rotation still. Let me get up around the side here. Maybe I can tack it from a slightly different angle. Let's try this guy. I'm about to bend the tip off of my rat yoke. Don't want to do that. All right, number 1. Still giving counter rotation. Keeps falling down. I got to push him up, work around, then hold him, and then isn't that weird? There's no tension on this thing, and he's still giving counter rotation. There we go. That's why, because he was the one. Come out of there. He was the one that's going to give us our fault set, so he's got to be pushed way up there. That was pin 2. I got a little click and a slightly deeper fault set. And I mean, it's an awesome fault set. Okay, now we got something in the way. It's probably that ward. Yep, there's a ward in the way. Isn't that something? You give me a fault set, then you shove a ward in my way. I'm going to go in there with this guy again, the rat yoke, see if I can get around that ward. I'm going to lighten up on the tension and see if I can squeeze him by on the right side. There we go. And he's pinching pretty tight in there. I may not. There we go. I got it. Oh, there goes the core. Don't do that. Okay, we got a pick, and the core almost came out because I was levering it a little bit. Come out of there, you. All right. Oh, crap. All right. All the more reason to put clips on these things. All right, I'm just going to have to hold him, I guess. Back out of here. That was entirely my fault. I wasn't trying to put extra tension on that core, but I just put enough of the leverage against the top of this with that darn tensioner to kind of pop it out just a little bit. Now this is interesting. Take a look. The front of this is turning. The back of that is not, leading me to believe that perhaps this lock is not picked. Let me hold that with my finger. Get that tensioner back over here. All right, the back of this lock is not picked. Okay, if we were in the field, what would we do? Well, since I know I can remove this, I might as well go ahead and pop him out. Let's go ahead and get a pinning tray in here just in case. In case this goes awry. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to pull the front part of this core out if he'll still come out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what happened is that pin popped down between the two halves of this core. So we have pin 1 and pin 2 both serrated. I'm just going to set this guy right here. Pop that. Now that was pin 2. That was spring 2. All right, now, kind of an odd thing to do, but I'm going to set this pinning board off to the side, and we're going to pick the rest of this lock. I won't be able to draw a line though, but tensioning is going to have to be from the bottom, which may be a little bit problematic. I think that'll work. Tell you what, let's not use the fat one. Let's try the medium one. Gives me a little bit more room in there. And let me go ahead and use the same pick as before if I can find him. All right, let's finish picking this lock. Let me tighten up the clamp a little bit. Come on. All right, I'm betting they're serrated. Let me try picking it counterclockwise. So that would be pin 3 that I'm working on. Ah, the tensioner just fell down. Weird angle. Let us try to rake him. I'm willing to bet that my tensioner's pinching on the bottom there. Let's try him from the other side, because just the tip manages to fit in there because it's inset so far. Swing this around a little bit so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. I'm working about a ½ inch down the side of the cylinder. Nothing. Take my rat yoke, go back in there. Okay, I'm right at 10 minutes on this lock, but I can't really quit because I've already half got him done. So we're just going to have to go take this one all the way to finish. Come on. Okay, that's a deep cut on that one, really deep. Okay, I'm getting some counter rotation off of what would be pin 5. And I really hate to let go with my tensioner, but I may have to here. There we go. I don't think I lost anything there. I believe that's counter rotation. Ah. I'm going to push up on it. I'm going to put it in neutral position, push all those pins up, and then try to rake one down. I'm just having trouble reaching back in there. It's kind of a weird angle. And I'm having trouble tensioning it with just the tip of the tensioner. It keeps trying to twist out on me and pinching on the bottom of the housing. A lot of counter rotation there. And there we go. All right. He is definitely picked now. All right, I've got to be really careful here. I'm going to try to just take a pair of wire cutters and cut this off the back. I've got a feeling things have gone so poorly so far that I've got a feeling that there's probably a T-pin in there, that if I try to just shove that out of there, we're going to get something caught in that gap. Oh, man. I'm committed now. Arg. Okay, I had one pin fall out. Let's get the pinning tray back over here. Let's get all this junk out of the way. Okay, this pin fell out of what I believe will be chamber 1. I'm sorry, no, that would be chamber 3. So that's chamber 3 key pin. Tweezers. All right, chamber 4 key pin, chamber 5 key pin. And we got some weirdness on the top of chamber 5 and 6. I don't think that's threading though. I think it's just rough finish. All right, let's pick this guy up. Both of these first two, as I said, were threaded. So let's go ahead and take chamber 2 out. Chamber 2 key pin, chamber 3 key pin, and set him right there. All right, we are kind of on track. All right, we are looking for number 2 already fell out because he's what wedged when the front of this core slid out. The pin from the Bible of chamber 2 slid down between those and prevented me from pushing this back in. So they're already here. So let's go ahead. We should have chamber 1 here. And we do. He is threaded and he is not even coming up to the shear line. No idea. He's there. I can see him. He's just not coming out. There he is. All right, so we have I'm trying to figure out if that's a screw or just a serrated. I think it's just a serrated. All right, so he was caught up in the serrations in chamber 1, and he did have a spring. All right, chamber 2 we got. All right, now we're on chamber 3. Chamber 3 is a, wow. I'm going to call that it is not an ASA, but it certainly looks like a double ASA. Great job on that one if that's a homemade pin. Chamber 3, spring, different spring. Let's go around the back and take a look. All right, chamber 5 is a very deep commercial spool. Let me get my shim out of there. And chamber 4 is indeed an ASA with a different spring. So we got 5 different kinds of springs in this thing. All right, what is threaded? Chamber 5 is threaded. Chamber 3 is threaded. 1 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, and 5 are threaded. Chamber 4 is standard. Let's go ahead and pop this off. It might be a little easier to see from the top. He says. If you use the right size screwdriver, you might not have this problem, right? And this is probably not the right size either. Luckily, I got a whole set. You know what? That'll work. All right, there we go. Now it's easier to see. 1, 2, and 3 threaded. 5 is threaded, 4 is stock. That's a tough little Yale. And I got to tell you, that would have been a super design had the front of this not popped out on us. If there had been some way to put a spinner in there or some kind of ridge to prevent the front of that core from popping out, because it just makes sense. If you're working on the front and you get this thing picked, it's always going to fall out, and it's always going to leave those last 3 intact, and that kind of leaves the lock, kind of leaves it open to a little bit easier picking. It was a little harder to reach down inside of there 1/2 inch because that's the first time I'd ever done it, but I think if this was a routine thing, you'd know exactly what you're dealing with as soon as you pick those first 2 pins. Anyway, great idea. It took a little longer than usual. We're at 19 minutes to get the gutting and everything done. Anyway, fellas, appreciate your time. Stay safe, stay legal. BlackDolphin90, great job.